गुड मॉर्निंग इंडिया एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। Where is this war going? Today is the update for 18th day, but it's actually today is the 19th day. A lot of things are happening. Of course, I would like to tell you at the outset that this stream is going live on P Gurus. Also, those of you who are from P Gurus, welcome. And do subscribe to both channels and like this video and also join us as members. Right. Having said that, I want to put across something else. Yesterday we did a presentation on like this is what Ramakrishna says. Good morning, sir. Last evening, Casa Dialogues was great. Waiting for your prediction on end state. Will Trump nuke Iran? We'll get to that. But I'm talking to the Casa Dialogues. It's great. But also there's been some issues that people say, look, the background noise, they want to understand. We are not professional media people. Those who come on this channel are not professional media people. What are they? They're professional military, professional strategic analysts, a lot of experience. We're trained to do something else, not media. So don't get upset if there's an odd sound coming. Even I can't do it. Okay, I've been doing this podcast now for 2-3 years. I don't have the hang of it. So there will be sounds. We are doing it for more out of passion than anything else, if that's the word I can use. Okay, let's get back to this. In fact, the last point on this is don't count the grains. Look at the crop as a whole, right? Okay. Now, we are to the 18th day. Shreyarji will join in shortly. Not an issue, right? But let's get ahead with what's happening. First, let's get to the headlines of all the major news, papers. New York Times. It says Israel is picking off Iran's leadership, but decapitation has its limits. I agree with them to some extent, and I disagree with them to a large extent, right? Because ultimately leadership counts. Iran without leadership will capitulate, right? Eventually. So that is something which people have to understand and, take it in their stride, the way they look at it. But that's a different story. So we will go ahead with this. Okay. There's one executive, Joe Kant of the, Trump administration, who said, no, he's put in his papers. All the best to him. That's what Trump has said. Fine. Okay. So this is the main thing. And we're going to talk about Ali Larijani's assassination or killing, and then what next. Because there's got a lot of ramifications of that story. Then Washington Post. What does it say? The main thing which caught my eye. Israel urges Iranian to revolt, but privately assesses they'll be slaughtered. See, this is a dilemma. There's going to be no revolt. Okay. There's no revolt in this whole story. And on the other hand, let me get, morning Shreyarji, welcome. And we just started with the, headlines. So
good morning, sir.
Morning. And we are just getting ahead with the headlines, what Washington Post is saying. And this is what Washington Post has to say. It says, look, they want Iranians to revolt, but Iranians will get slaughtered. So the revolt bit, uprising bit has not yet come. There's a long way. We'll talk of it later if we get the time. Okay. Now, of course, Al Jazeera talks of it has killed Iran's security chief, Ali Larijani. This came yesterday evening. Today they've said Iranian attack kills 2. So all these are, in the pot. This is what the big picture is. Ali Larijani, and what's that going to have on Iran? Where does China look at all this? There's nothing. You see hardly anything about this war going on in China. This is very strange, and I'm going to dissect China in the evening. What's happening in China? Because this is a very important thing as far as internal problems in China are concerned. The internal problems in China are being shown in the external issues which are in the newspapers, or rather their external orientation. So China is a funny thing in this whole story. We'll talk of it later. But before I go ahead, you generally see in the headlines, Shreyarji,
Yeah,
your views,
yeah.
opening views, and then I'll go ahead with Larijani dissecting what his issues and all that. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Viewers, thanks from wherever you are watching, whether it is P Gurus or Ganeshwar, it's coming live. And again, thank you so much, General Shankar, for allowing us to do this
Oh
simultaneous
no,
or
no,
simulcast.
there is no thanking. We are the same channel. As far as I'm concerned, there's no difference. Carry on.
Thank you so much, sir. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. So, viewers, the reason I was delayed was because I was finishing up live on P Guru's Tamil. And I was doing the same exact thing there. Unfortunately, it ran over by a couple of minutes, which is why I was delayed. Let me just tell you all the things that I know, and this has been confirmed by Iran. Larijani is dead. Soleimani, the guy who was the head of Basij, was also confirmed dead. Both these people are confirmed dead. Also, Iran has said that we are going to take revenge, but there is an interesting twist here. It is believed that from Tuesday, President Pezeshkian has been trying to submit his resignation.
We'll come
This
up
has
to all
happened.
that. We'll come to all that. You're jumping the gun. So let's
Okay, sorry. So look, okay.
let's unfold this layer by layer because that
All right.
right. Okay, so so let's get back to my presentation so that you understand. Look,
Yeah.
Larijani is out. Where does Larijani fit now? Mostaba is here. This is the tree. Okay,
Right.
Samkani went first, then this chap went, Patpur went, and now Larijani. You see, this entire tree is gone. Only in the top tier, only Pezeshkian is left. Okay, if you see it further, everyone down in the defense line or the security line is gone. That's a huge blow. And Larijani was vying for power. He was
Yes.
one of the guys who was vying for power. So there was a problem. There was a problem in that. And that's how to trump Larijani, they brought in Mostaba because Mostaba had the clerical background. But the more interesting part in this is how was Larijani killed? Which means that there are huge fissures in the Iranian system,
Absolutely.
right? The system isn't, what shall I say? There are a lot of problems. That's the way I'll put it, right? There are a lot of problems in the system. That's why this whole story has happened. He's been targeted and taken out, and even the other guy has been targeted and taken out. Basij character, which means Iran doesn't have a composite command and control, and any headless body will soon dissipate. It's a very simple. People say cut the head of the snake. Why do they cut the head of the snake? Then the snake dies. So, if I use that metaphor, something like that happening. Okay. Now let me show something very interesting. Shreya, you'll have to tell me. Now for all of we can't explain how important Larijani is. So I'm taking the help of this video to put across to you what is the importance of Larijani to this entire system. Have a look at this video and then we'll talk.
Hey, really quick, I wanted to
Can
share
you
with
hear?
you a very interesting analysis, intelligence analysis.
Yes.
That are written by a former senior U.S. intelligence official who was responsible for Iran about the killing Ali Larijani, the senior Iranian official who the Israelis say that they killed. This official writes that the consequences for the regime of the death of Larijani are potentially greater than the consequences of the killing of the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, who was killed in the beginning of the war. That's because Khamenei was 86 years old. His death was expected to come at some point, and there was a mechanism in place, a process in place for replacing him. There were potential candidates, whereas this official writes, Larijani was a fixture of the system and expected to manage the regime for years to come. And this former official writes, Larijani's death indicates strong intelligence collection continues and the capacity of Israel and the U.S. to kill key leaders as long as the conflict continues. So the big question that this analysis addresses is, will this death compel the Iranians now to move closer to negotiations and an end to the war? The answer that this official, former official, provides, unlikely. In part, The regime needs to have the opportunity to meet and confer. They need to be able to meet to make decisions about this. And the killing will not promote confidence that now is the time to do so. So merely the ability of the remaining Iranian officials to get together, to meet, and to communicate is further degraded. What it means, entirely unclear, but a major blow to what was the Iranian leadership.
Yeah. Now let's go ahead with it, and then we'll take a stock. I'll get your comments on.
Hey,
right. What Shreyas was saying earlier. There's rumors that Pezeshkian is seeking to resign. If that goes, this whole story is headless, right? And all these news about Netanyahu, dying, have been dispelled, right? Before I get into what the American part of the story, let's analyze from the Iranian point of view. Where do they stand, and where do you think they stand after this Ali Larijani's death? Over to you, Shreyas. Then we'll talk later about the rest of the things.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. As you can see, a lot of roosters are watching us, and they are having their own comments also about our show. Viewers, this is just, I'm sitting outside, and so sometimes there'll be some of these noises. Don't worry about that. So, see, you are absolutely right. This is Headless. We've been talking about this, and the 31 independent commanders, they are also on the radar. And some of the units have been completely decimated, according to IDF, Israeli Defense Forces. Iran hasn't said anything. But the Iranians did something very interesting yesterday that I wanted to bring to your attention. I'm not sure we did this thing on our previous show, but let me just repeat it. See, what happened was Iran had internet completely blocked because they had this blocking equipment and a place. Now, what happened was Israel went and destroyed that. So all of a sudden, for a very brief amount of time, Iran had internet, almost everybody. Except then what they did was, see, the way the thing was working was it was shut off for 99% of Iranian, but the 1% was available so that they could still communicate within themselves, the IRGC, the Basij, and the apparatus. Now, when this structure of blocking structure system got decimated, they did a very interesting decision. They took off internet. I mean, basically there are, the way internet works is there are routers. If you turn off the main router, everything shuts. That means zero internet now, 0% internet for the whole of Iran. So then, are they going to use pigeons to communicate among these 31 commanders? One wonders, because this is something that they did 24 hours ago. So this thing is getting a little bit weird, in my opinion. I am trying to figure out how this is going to work. Over to you.
Yeah, look, it's like this. The Iranians have prepared for fighting like this. Probably what they're not prepared for is how does this whole thing get coordinated? You see, let me put certain things in context. For the past about 3 to 4 years, people have been talking of mosaic warfare. This is what mosaic warfare is all about. Mosaic warfare is that, like in a mosaic, you see different, spots, different colors. In the old mosaic tile, that's the way you fight, independently without each other, right? And each mosaic fights on its own, or each dot of that mosaic fights on its own. These theories came. Yeah, they're fighting. It's great to fight in a mosaic form of war, provided you have overall command and control. The mosaic doesn't exist if the overall command and control is vanishing. And I've been saying this from beginning. What the political people talk and what's happening on ground are two different things. And slowly and steadily, the Americans are denuding Iranians of their missile capability. And that analysis I'm going to do at 2 o'clock, how it's happening, right? It's going to be a separate analysis, not here. And that is about, there are two interesting articles I got. And interestingly, one from Al Jazeera, which says the Americans are dismantling the Iranian structure. And one from America, from Foreign Affairs, which says USA is losing. So I'm going to give both sides of the story in the afternoon. Okay, right? So the point is that this is, getting interesting. But from the Iranian point of view, they're stuck. They don't know how to take it further. That is apparent to me. Because how will units fight? Unit need command and control. Without command and control, it's a headless chicken which is loafing around. And that's where Iran is getting. And it's a headless chicken which is infiltrated. Ali Larijani's thing, right? That's the thing. Next thing is the importance of Ali Larijani, which I showed in that clip. And that, whatever was explained by an Iranian insider. Right? Isn't it? It's not someone from outside who's done. It's from inside. Ali Larijani was, the kingpin in the entire thing. He had the political bandwidth. He had the, military bandwidth or the security bandwidth, and he had enough confidence of Khamenei to do everything. If I put it, Ali Larijani was the replacement to Soleimani. Right? Now that's taken off. When Soleimani was knocked off 4 years back by Trump, it is reported that, or it was told that Ali Khamenei was, shattered. He treated him like a son. He was supposed to be the number 2, in that whole hierarchy. That fellow is gone. After that, they didn't speak of anyone as the number 2. But everyone knew that it was Ali Larijani who was doing this. Pezeshkian was only running the government internally and doing some little diplomatic work. But when it came to going and talking to Russia and stitching up the alliance with Russia or with China or XYZ, it was Ali Larijani. And he was irreplaceable in their scheme of things. But now they have to find a replacement who's not there. So that centerpiece has been knocked off. And right. So we will have to see how this is going forward from here. So politically, they've shaken up. And if Pezeshkian, this news is right that Pezeshkian wants to resign, right? We don't know. We don't know the thing, right? If that there, then that whole family tree which I showed is gone.
Yes.
Right? If you want, I'll show that family tree again because I think that will give you a clear idea as to what I'm talking of. Okay. Yeah. Because look at this. This family tree is all gone. This complete family tree is gone. Everyone is gone if Pezeshkian goes. And Mustafa, we don't know whether he is alive, dead, or what his status is. Right? So, if that happens, it's horrid. But Iran will continue fighting. It's not as if, Iran won't continue fighting. Iran will continue fighting till there's a conclusion. So, let me go ahead.
Hey.
Right. Now, we've spoken of this. Now, all this news about fake news about Netanyahu is gone. Now, let's listen to what, today morning, Central Command came out with this story of theirs. So, let's listen to the military aspects of USA. Before I go back to the Iranian aspects of the USA thing, let's hear.
We continue to remain centered on our military objectives. These are well defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. To date, our Air Force...
So he is very clear. He says ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. 3 words, what is explained, are the key words of this whole clip. The rest is all nautanki. Have a look at that nautanki because that also is entertainment. It is good value.
Navy and Marine Corps aviators have collectively flown more than 6,000 combat flights, demonstrating the unmatched capability of America's joint force as we maintain air superiority over Iranian skies. And to the entire Operation Epic Hero team, keep pushing, remain steady, fight the win. Thanks so much, guys.
And interestingly, this messaging is not only internal, it's not only external, it's given into internal also, to his whole Central Command. Okay, so very interesting things are happening today, or rather have happened. Look, Central Command also put out this thing that saying, look, we have successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites alongside Iran's coastline near Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites pose the risk to international shipping in the Strait. So they're hitting this area. Anything here north? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. This presentation is slipping off. There's some technical glitch. I'm not able to get over it, but so be it. Okay.
China is intruding. China is
No,
intruding.
it's okay. Whoever is intruding, it doesn't matter because we'll get our thing to through. You know, right? So I was talking. They have to open this area. The
Yeah.
Strait of Hormuz is the criticality, and we'll talk of it a little later. Okay. So if this is the criticality, they've started hitting this coast and heavy. So they got to pound this till the time. By the time the Marines come, you will find the Marines will have a place to, I wouldn't say walk in, but go in with light resistance. So we'll see this unfolding. Okay, I'll talk of this 3-4 days later because they're going to do this for 3-4 days.
Yes.
Okay, and they're
Softening
going
up.
to, yeah,
Softening them up. Yeah.
it's not softening. Softening is an understatement. They're going to hammer them, right? They're going to hammer the nails. That's happening, right? It's already happened. US forces continue to hunt and destroy Iranian targets that pose threats to Americans and Iranian neighbors, both. So that's also happening, right? Okay. Now, Israel, IDF has taken out their naval headquarters, as per this tweet. A lot of things are happening now. You know, the army naval headquarters is gone. It's not only it's not IRGC. Everyone is focusing on IRGC, but there's something else happening, and that is something I have to explain. Right? And Trump says Qatar has been great, UAE has been great, Saudi has been terrific, Bahrain has been good. He's happy. He's got a coalition going there. If he and he's very clearly he said, I couldn't care a damn if others join me or not. But I'll talk of that later. Now let's get to the Iranian side. They said, they're now still on big talk. At this point of time, they're on big talk. That's the way I assess it. Era of unilateral dictates is over, and we're giving ice cold warnings, yeah, world, all that. They have to keep up that story going. After all, Iran is not a pushover. After it lasted 19 days and it's still hitting back. Granted to them. Okay. But you have to understand two things. This is the regular army, which is responsible for territorial defense, borders, airspace, and conventional warfare. The IRGC is different. It is a story which protects the core. So far we've spoken of IRGC. Now these people are getting the hit, and this is the hit which they are getting, which none of us know. We talk of this, but this is the one which is to be destroyed. If this destroyed, leadership gone, this is also gone. Right? The force protecting the revolution is gone. Then you see, this is something like a communist. This is a cross of a communist regime and otherwise. The PLA protects the CCP. The same
CCP.
principle
Right.
they use. The IRG is like a PLA which protects the regime, and the rest of the PLA which does other things. So these chaps have been more inventive. They've separated the two. So one is a professional force, non-political. This is a political force. Both are being hit at this point of time. One has to understand. That is why many people don't understand and use the difference between army and IRGC. People don't understand. So I thought I'll put this slide out. Right? Okay. Next. Oh well, they've launched their 61st wave of missile strikes. Now this is very interesting. They've launched. They're trying to hit Dubai. They're trying to hit Iran. They might get some success. I have no doubt about it. They will be damaged. There's no doubt. This is war. It is two-way. It is not one way. Okay, people will get killed either way. So in war, people will lose. We have to accept it. Just because America has lost some small things here and there doesn't mean it's great. But have a look at this video of one of their missile launches, and I'll explain it to you later. And I'll ask Sri IRG what does he infer from this, and then I'll explain it. Yeah. Okay, Shreyarji, over the quiz for you. What do you make of these missile launches?
General Shankar, this is from the United States, right?
This is a Iranian missile launch.
Oh, Iranian missile launch. Wow.
So, wow. So what do you make of this launch?
So it goes up, and then I
Yeah,
thought
that's
it
okay.
was.
So don't get the technical part. Have you made anything big out of it?
No,
Look,
I'm
I'll
sorry.
play it again if you want. Okay, let's play it again so that now look at it seriously. I'm not joking. This is a very important point I'm going to make to all of you.
I can't see the video now.
Oh, sorry, I'll get it back. Sorry. I'll play it again.
From the look of it, it looks like it's exploding in midair. Are they taking it out in midair from the other side?
No. Just look at it.
Sorry, sir. I don't want to hazard any guesses.
Right. Okay. Now let me ask you. So you've seen this video 2-3 times, and everyone has seen it. This is a missile launch, which they have said that with these kind of launches, they've hit Iran and Dubai and Israel. What do you make of this? Someone says solid fuel. So, right. There's a question I'm taking from everyone. They're talking. Someone says solid fuel. Someone says Desi Sand says these are ballistic missiles. In my opinion, ye wo. Right.
Sir, it's not solid. I think it is liquid. I think there's a
Okay.
stage separation. So that's
Okay.
what I think. Sir, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Now here comes the trick. This is
Hmm.
called the Chinese missile trick.
Oh,
Okay. It doesn't matter whether it's a solid fuel or a liquid fuel. It's a missile launch. If you
Hmm.
see this whole clip, 6 to 7 launches have been shown.
hmm.
Okay. It's the same missile.
I see. I see.
One missile taken from 10 different angles and shown as if there's a volley going across to this thing. The Chinese did it when they fired against Taiwan 4 years
I
back.
see.
They fired 11 missiles and made it appear they fired so many missiles. Later, when people dissected it, they said, yeah, it's only 11 missiles
Hmm.
over the past 2 days. Same thing they're doing here. So there's one launch which has happened from different angles. You see, I can show
No,
it
now it
again.
makes sense. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I
Makes
agree.
sense? It's
Yeah.
the same launch. Dekho, this is the advantage of having a guy like me who's seen missile launching. When did I see my first missile Prithvi launch? I must tell everyone, right? When Dr. Abdul Kalam, I was working under Abdul Kalam. This
Right.
was in 1989. I saw my first missile launch. By now, I have forgotten how many missile launches I have seen and which all. I've forgotten which all also. Okay. And I've seen all the bloody guns which India has and all the missiles India has. So a chap like me, old salt like me, uh, knows what is happening. That's what I want to tell everyone. This is one missile. So don't think Iran is making a big dent in the American scheme of things. This is a military analysis. This is not propaganda. Propaganda is what these chaps are doing. Okay? You have to see through the fog of war. Militarily, Iran is completely outmatched. Yeah, they're hitting Dubai airport, AO and all that. But politically, they have hit themselves. You hit Dubai. Dubai was your financial center. You cannot
Yes.
get that back.
They'll freeze all the Iranian accounts, all the
Finished.
high HNIs.
Okay? And you do anything, Mojtaba Khamenei's money, which is stashed abroad, will all get frozen.
Yes.
Iran is cutting its own feet. The Chinese realized that they were cutting their own feet. That's why they have withdrawn. Please, right? They realized, but by aiding Iran, they are hitting Gulf countries and they're withdrawing. And I'll prove it in about 5 minutes why they've done what they have done. Today is a very important analysis I'm doing. Okay, right. So let's get ahead with what this thing. I'll get my presentation back because
yes.
right. Uh, yeah. So we saw this story going right now. Iran's parliament feels that Strait of Hormuz will never return to what it was. Security has been disrupted. In future, it will be part of a new security framework that will be not dictated by America. That is their logic. They don't want the Strait of Hormuz to be lost. Okay. And this is what Ray Dalio says. He says, I found that most wars are filled with surprises. Fine, fine, fine. But the stake of this conflict are obvious. It all comes down to who controls the Strait of Hormuz. Right? Now, let me get back to this. For the past 4 days, I'm saying the center of gravity is Strait of Hormuz.
Correct.
Just think at the end of this conflict, if Iran wants to continue to control the Strait of Hormuz, it's a victory for Iran. Which means Iran will be able to dictate to the globe, right, that their oil dependency is dependent on oil. No, sorry, on Iran. Is that acceptable to the world? If it is not acceptable to the world, everyone will come together and ensure that the strait opens. That moment is happening. And second thing, people around the globe are not fools. They're going to take this control of Strait of Hormuz away from Iran. This is my prediction. There's going to be some authority which will come into Strait of Hormuz.
Oh, he's following it already. Hormuz peace, board of peace.
Board of peace. So if that happens, Iran is lost.
Yes.
Iran is. Understand this. If the Strait of Hormuz control goes out of Iran, Iran has lost this battle.
Yeah.
Finished. As far as I am concerned, after that, uranium, PIAO, all that is nonsense. You have views on what I'm saying, what I've said.
Absolutely right. In fact, you can see some interesting things going on. Iran said that those countries who are willing to pay for their oil in yuan will be allowed passage through Hormuz Strait. This happened, I think, yesterday. Right?
That's all gone
now. Well, see, the thing is, it's building up, sir. NATO countries said they will not participate with the United States in the control of Hormuz Strait. Not only that, Australia, South Korea, and even Japan, the friendliest of friends of United States, they all said, we are not coming to participate in this. But just few minutes before we went online, UAE said, we are jumping in with you. And I would not be surprised if there are some other countries silently supporting this without, making a big fuss about it. You know which one I'm talking about. It's 5 letters or 6 letters.
No, talk of it. Where's the problem? No, we are not taking part in it. That I can assure you. We are not taking part in it. That I can assure you. I know our story. India will not take part in this. Okay? Will not. And it is not taking part. So don't get to that. India has no reason to get involved in this. Yes, our naval presence is there in the North Arabian Sea to escort our tankers, but we are not going to take part. But things are going to expand. So the point I'm trying to make is, you see, the importance of the Strait of Hormuz and is now the focus. The center of gravity of this battle is the Strait of Hormuz. Will that be opened? If America opens it, thank you, Iran. End of story. Okay. So now let's get ahead with what the story is going further, because understanding that is the most important critical thing. Right. Let me get back to my slides because that is right. See, yeah. Now this is the thing, marine traffic has put out this. And the very interesting and important thing I'm making. According to the marine traffic data, a total of 15 vessels transited the strait over the past 3 days. In 3 days, only 15 vessels have straight, which included 8 dry bulk carriers, 5 tankers, and 2 LPG carriers. 87% were outbound. That means 87% of 15, only 12 were outbound. Only 13% entered the Gulf, 3 entered. Okay. Now, look at this. There's a lot of rumors going around which say, Iran is allowing Chinese tankers to go, Turkish tankers to go, Pakistani tankers to go. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, just think, out of the 15 tankers which have gone in the past 3 days, 72 hours, 3 were inbound, so only 12 went out. Okay? Out of the 12 which went out, we know 3 are Indian.
Right.
They have crossed, we have got them this side. Only 9 others have gone out. Okay? To presume that all of them were for Chinese is not there. People say Turkish, Pakistani, ye wo. So it is not as if anyone has a free path. Why? Where am I getting? Because China is still stuck. China is still stuck very badly. So this is a very important point I tried to make. What do you make of this? Over to you.
That's a good point, General Shankar. Now, China is doing everything possible. So if Iran falls, by extension, will China also fall in terms of its influence outside of China?
Oh, it's already fallen. It's already fallen. It's already
Cuba
gone.
Is gone. Cuba is gone. Yeah.
That Cuba is gone. China is gone. I'll come to China. We're coming to China. We're going to touch on a very critical point which has happened, which explains where China is. Okay. Now, let me get back to this whole story, and let's see. Okay, where did it go? Yeah, what you said earlier. Now Trump says, "I'll go alone. I don't need you," and he's right. I don't need Australia. I don't need South Korea. I don't need NATO. He says, "I don't want NATO. Why am I funding NATO?" Because 72% of NATO funding goes from USA. He says, you come, don't come, I couldn't care a damn. If that happens, Europe is on a limb. Okay? Europe is on a big limb. And then, of course, there's one director of the US National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, he stepped down. And he's fine. He said it's a scholar of conscience. This is a very important thing, again, the way I look at it. Why? There's a chap who's dissented with this whole program and he's gone off. And if you see President Trump's comments, he said, okay, fine. He doesn't like it. Let him go. He's not the main thing for me. This is not going to set a revolt in US system. He'll just be taken off and someone else will take and go on.
True.
Reflects the strength of a democratic system to take dissent.
Absolutely.
Very important point which has come in. In war, people will dissent. You take them out. Be ruthless in taking them out and say, thank you. We go ahead. Your view on that, because you're an American.
Yes.
You should know this more than I hate this thing. Your view.
True, sir. Joe Kent's resignation is very suspicious. If he had done this thing prior to February 28th, that would have had a lot of weightage. But he waited for so many days and then he does it. That means that there are other considerations that are in play. And we see, look, there is one thing that is very, very, very close to the truth, which everybody is not saying, but they're all thinking about this, is that one of the 2 assassination attempts in August 2024, July and August, one of them supposed to have had an Iranian connection. So presidents will remember. I mean, it's not like,
It is what you're saying is come out in black and white that one of them has an Iranian connection.
Yes. So,
right? Yes.
So how can the director of NCTC Counterterrorism Center say that there is nothing to do with this? So the guy is being arm twisted. Well, who knows what he did where?
That's okay. They will leave that out. But what I'm trying to say is the strength of the political system of USA is coming out.
Of course.
Yeah, we shouldn't discount it. That's the more important point. Then, of course, the Germans have come out and said, if the US military is unable to secure Hormuz, European forces will most likely be unable to do so either. उसने बोल दिया कि भाई ना तो मैं तो नपुंसक हूँ. Okay, we will need an agreement with Arab states and Iran to restore shipping. So that means Europe is just spread its leg and saying, "Yeah, I can't do anything. मेरा खत्म हो गया." So this puts Europe in such a pitiable position.
True.
Right? Germany, the powerhouse of Europe, says I can't do anything. Right? If they can't do, how can I do? So they are prepared to negotiate with Iran. That's pitiable, actually. Okay. Then, of course, uh, India, there is a very interesting story in this. He says our external affairs minister visited Brussels. He was invited by the EU High Representative and Kaya Kalas to attend EU Foreign Council's meet, EAO, all that. But the ministers, you see, he also discussed the situation in West Asia. So the European leaders have started discussing the situation with India about how to do it. They can't do it themselves, so they have to come through India, and they can't now. They're virtually burned their bridges with Trump. We'll see how that goes on a later day.
Yes,
And then
yes, yes.
we are also in talks with Iran and other countries, and about our ships in the area and how to pull them out. And when those talks are happening, other talks also will happen. Okay. And then there are reports that Iran wants their 3 tankers back, which we had confiscated. In lieu, they will give this thing. It might be true, not true. Officially, he said no, but unofficially, it might be on. And in which case, fine. It's good that you have a equation with Iran. That means you still have an equation with Iran, a good equation with Iran. You have a good equation with USA. You have a good equation with Europe. What more does India want? Okay. And then, yeah, there's of course the same thing. And as far as the LPG and oil shortages and are concerned, people are saying don't panic. At home you will get your LPG. Don't panic. Yeah, no problem. That's your grandson. He needs to
Yes.
learn about he needs to learn about the Iraq war. No, not an issue. Don't worry. You right. So people are hoarding cylinders. God damn it, India, come on. We don't need to panic. And who are the guys who would be hoarding? All bloody crooks would be hoarding, trying to make a big, fast buck out of it. You want a LPG cylinder? Go online, book. There's no problem. And that's what this lady says, see the JSN, Ministry of Petroleum. And I'm telling this to Indians. My appeal to Indians is don't get off this nonsense. Okay, so I'll stop here at this point of time. The thing which I wanted to put across to you is I saw a tweet. Somewhere I missed it. No, it's not a tweet. It's a report which says that China is sending help to all the Middle East, West Asian countries, humanitarian aid to Iran, Bahrain, some Jordan, and something like that. Yeah, you have reduced yourself to giving only humanitarian aid. Nothing else it can do. You see the pitiable state of China in this. China is supposed to be a big superpower. They had one base in Djibouti. They had everything going for them. They had 4-5 ships out there with their antennas, pantanas, and all that nonsense. But at the end of the day, all they can do is send humanitarian aid to Jordan and some Iran and all. So does Iran want humanitarian aid at this point of time? This is the kind of support China is giving to Iran? Despicable. I find it funny. This is what we used to do 30 years back in India. कि भाई we don't like हम सबसे कट्टी हैं ये humanitarian aid ले लो हमसे. So you're reduced to that, yeah. So this is where we are on day 18. Your views, and then we'll sum it up and take some questions.
Between the devil and the deep sea is where Iran finds itself in, and its mentor, or I should say its boss, China is no further from this. They tried doing some saber rattling in Taiwan also, hasn't worked, and it's really at this point of time, if Iran doesn't cut its losses and come to an amicable agreement, the people of Iran are going to suffer. This headless chicken is running around until the muscles give up. Sir, how long will this headless chicken run? My question to you back, and then you can.
Yeah, I agree. Fair one. Look, this will run. This will run because these guys have trained themselves to operate in disjointed cells. It will run for some more time till such time someone tries to fill in. See, the first thing which I said, that analysis, the people are operating in such a disjointed manner they can't meet to confer.
Correct.
If they confer, they're getting knocked. So no one will confer. There's no head. So this will continue for some time till they come to some kind of a internal thing, and they come to the point that look, By then, a few more will get knocked off. There'll be a power struggle which will go on in Iran. It's not simple. And then you have to quell each of these fellows internally. And USA is not going to do it with boots on ground. We're not putting boots on ground. So things are happening in a manner which you really can't put your finger on. I think some clarity will come by the end of this week. That's what to me, if you ask how long will this come, I don't know. Some clarity will come till the time the Strait of Hormuz is comes, into US hands or say anyone's hands except Iran. Till Iran loses its control over the Strait of Hormuz, this will continue. And after what I've seen yesterday to today, US is determined to get that control.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
One request to all our viewers: those of you, about 1.32 crore Indian families, households, are getting piped natural gas. Piped natural gas. If you are not getting any disruptions, that means India has got its stocks figured out. Please now speak up, because that way you can break all these, make a buck using LPG cylinders, which is the bulk of the people who are taking it. But if pipe natural gas, which is a harder thing to do, remember, Qatar is offline. If India is able to pipe natural gas to those 1.32 crore households, and those of you who are using it, please give us some comments here so that we can set at rest this rumor that India is going to have supply problems. Do this thing. Yeah. I know. We have to bring it from the people. That's what I'm trying to do.
See, folks, let me tell you this. We will have some problem of LPG. There's no doubt. PNG. The government is making effort. Ours is a big government. And they also alive to the problem. Hamara chula nahi band hoga. The first priority, the way I look at it, is the households. And then the rest. Okay.
Right.
And I'm sure a government is clear of it. I have full faith in the government. One. Number two, even if there are problems, I have no problems withstanding it. Because just think, if you have problems, what are the problems of others around us? You see in Colombo, people can't go from one place to the other. They are on a QR code system. They can only, you get, they've done something very intelligent. You get petrol only based on your QR code, and your QR code has a thing how much you can get or not, rationing. It's not that you go and they've gone on to that system, right? So, you as an individual have a QR code, so however that functions. So you are eligible for your vehicle. You are the owner of the vehicle. It's linked to the vehicle also. So you are the owner of, say, a vehicle, and that vehicle is rationed for 15 liters a week. You get that only on your QR code. Finished. Thank you. They're struggling. You're not come to that level. Yesterday only I went and filled up my tank in my car. 100%. And that chap was very happy that I'm giving him money. In the sense, he's selling more petrol. That's the point I'm trying to make. Incidentally, I always fill up my tank whenever I go. That's a different story. And it's got a technical reason. Let me share it with you. Whenever you fill up your tank, fill it up full. Why? Because half tank will rust your tank. If full tank, there's no scope for your tank to rust internally, right? If it rusts, if you have a half tank, you run on a half tank regularly, and the rust from your tank will go into your petrol and it will screw up your engine.
Correct.
This is the technical answer as to why you should keep your tank always full, right? Anyway, so right. Similarly, in other places, look at Bangladesh, look at Nepal. They all want us to help them out. So be patient, okay? And I thought I'll put this across to everyone. Your final comments, sir, and then we'll take some questions. Unless you unless you have any other thing you want me to sort out.
No, the one other thing that US is trying now, which is that it will be able to have something similar to a loitering drone. They have something like a loitering missile, where if, for example, the target itself is being moved at the very last minute, they have the capability to. What
capability you were talking of, we have it. We showed it during Op Sindoor. The
Absolutely.
Herops had this capability. We have
Hmm.
this is a whole thing. Uh, so, your any views on the political outcomes? Where do you see things going?
Sir, this is also become apparent that anybody who allies closely with China seems to have this kind of a problem where there's a figurehead who's the political face of the country, but that person doesn't have any power. The
Yeah,
power is somewhere else, and this makes the decision making much harder because the poor people will suffer more.
yeah,
Today, if there was a political head, he would cut his losses, sit on a bargaining table because he would have to save his oil wealth. That is his wealth. I mean, you can rebuild all the other things, but if you don't have a means of getting any money for yourself, you can
end
get
of
a
story.
deal with US. You can get a deal with US and get paid for dollars for all the oil that US is going to take from you. That's
Yeah,
this is the point. This is also a point of no return for Iran because once US gets control of it, it'll create a small country there, and it'll be completely under their control,
we'll
which
see
means
what happens.
yeah, the larger part of Iran, all the people are going to
Will
suffer.
suffer. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
point. That's a
yeah,
great point. But having said that, let me put it across to everyone who's seen my yesterday's program. Right, I spoke about why there is deep-rooted enmity between Iran and USA. Both sides. It is ingrained in their blood. So I'm not going to go over it. Please go back to yesterday's thing, which day 17 update, where I've said why they hate each other.
right.
If USA has one enemy in the world, it is Iran. It is not China. If Iran has one enemy in the world, it is the great Saturn called America. It is not anything. It's not even Israel. It is USA. So that is why they are rated. This is going to be a pretty decisive battle. If there is a notion of victory for USA, you'll see Trump taking the whole damn election along with him.
Yes, yes,
Right?
very
Let's
true,
not have
very true.
doubt. Right? And this is ingrained in the people. And you see incidents like the London bomb, no, not Beirut bombing, where 241 Americans lost their life because of a truck bomber long back. Yesterday,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
read from the American point of view. From the Iranian point of view, one of their aircraft was shot down. 290 people died
correct.
from one of the US naval ships. So it is ingrained, old, right? Like we don't forgive Pakistan for anything. We don't forget anything which Pakistan does. Same thing with them, because the differences between Pakistan and our situation and their situation is different. Maybe one of these days we can discuss this. Shreyarji?
Yes, 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 very true. And that incident about bombing, viewers, I thought it was Shadow of Beirut. It could be Ghosts of Beirut, Ghost of Beirut. One of the two titles. It's available in Netflix or Amazon Prime. Do watch it. It's 4 episodes, fantastically made series. So you need to understand all these things: long-seated animosity, why, how this comes out in the open, and so on and so forth. Sir, thank you so much. It was a wonderful session today. I think again we are really, sharing a lot of information.
No, that was
It
class.
just comes from the chemistry.
Yeah, fine. Let's go over the questions. Thanks a lot, Optimistic, for joining in as a member. Thanks a lot, SS, for your super sticker. Dushyant Singh Rator. Jai Shri Ram, General Sir, should India actively help Afghanistan, or am I looking at it emotionally? Yeah, your view. Let me take your view, Shri ISG, on this, and then I'll give my view.
See, Afghanistan is a complex process. The Afghani people love Indians, but the regime right now is a very repressive regime. They are now banning all girls from even going to school. Come on now, you can't be that repressive. It's not fair. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about this, General Shankar. How can you do that? I mean, sir, this is not going to last long. I can tell you that also. If Iran falls, that's a behemoth that's going to fall, and that's your next neighbor. Israel, US wants control of Bagram, and we hear that China has completely exited Afghanistan, which means US is going to try and reclaim Bagram at least. And if it gets into Bagram, then a lot of things can start happening there. So
Yeah,
this is a
the way, yeah,
game,
yeah,
cat and mouse game.
cat and mouse. But look, let me put it: we should help Afghanistan. On that, I have no doubt. We should help the people of Afghanistan. Whom should we help? First and foremost, we should help the people of Afghanistan because we have a stake in the people of Afghanistan. India and Afghanistan people have had good relations ever since independence. We have a tremendous relationship with Pashtuns, even if they're from Pakistan.
True.
A lot of Pashtuns, right? We've had an equation, and that we should maintain. Now, coming to Taliban, we need Taliban to pressurize Pakistan. Pakistan has to be caught in a pincer. For that, we have to do whatever we can to help Afghanistan. I have no doubt in my mind. How we have to help them, that's a different story. It's not what you have said is not emotional, it is logical.
Yeah.
And that is why, if you remember a few months back, the Afghan foreign minister came. He went to even Devban for 6 days. He was here. He even interacted with the ladies. He interacted with only a ladies only Sammelan.
Right.
Okay. So we should. And after that, the commerce minister has come. That a lot of people, their communication ministers come, and we're giving them a lot of help. We are giving them humanitarian aid, everything. So that is why we should help Afghanistan out. Unless you change the behavior of Taliban, the ladies in Afghanistan won't get a way out. And for that, you have to, you have to change them differently. They are a different breed altogether. So it'll take time. We have to be patient. It's not going to happen immediately because we've gone into the game in Afghanistan this way only 6-7 months back. Okay. US has a stake in Afghanistan, and we need to be on the same page with US to help Afghanistan. Iran is on the same page as Afghanistan, incidentally. In all this, it is only Afghanistan who's come out in support of Iran. I hope people know that. They've come out in support. They're not supporting USA. They've come out in support of Iran. Why? They're neighbors. Understand that. And we are helping Iran out. Remember, we still need Chabahar. This is a complex problem. That is why I am doing this morning and evening. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this morning and evening. So we need to help, but how we help, how it is, I'm sure the government is taking the right thing, but you're on the right lines. Okay. Next, if Iran falls, will that benefit India? I'm sure you have answered this several times, but please indulge us. Spy in Northeast and all that we'll not talk of, but let's talk of if Iran falls, will it benefit India? Shreyaji, any views on that?
Actually, unless India has an active role in whatever is going to happen, like the board of Hormuz, India should become a member of that. If something like that happens, unless it does that, India will probably not see a lot of benefit. Iran oil will come back into the marketplace, but previously India used to buy from Iran paying rupees. But if US takes control of the oil of Iran, not sure they'll want to sell the oil in rupees. They will want to sell it in dollars. So I don't see that as a plus for India. But if India becomes one of the first ones to join the board of Hormuz and do a side letter agreement saying that we'll continue to buy oil from Iran in rupees, then India benefits. My 2 cents, sir.
No, we need to join this board of Hormuz. On that, there's no
Yes.
doubt. See, the Strait
Yes.
of Hormuz is now critical. If you want to be a regional player, you should be there on it. One, that's the first part. The second part is you need to be with Iran also. We have nothing. We have great links, civilizational links with the people of Iran. Okay, we need to support Iran. It doesn't matter which government is there. I'll put it this way: even if the government which survives this and this regime hardens and some rump government comes in, we still support it,
Yeah.
irrespective of what you do with USA and the rest.
Right.
Because, I mean, our equations with the Gulf countries will improve after this, especially Dubai. Mark my words.
Very
But
true. Very true.
we need to we will be the only bridge with Iran.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Please remember, it's only India which is given a platform for Iran to speak. India Today conclave, Raisina dialogues. People came, their deputy foreign minister came and spoke here. Okay, people have come and spoken here. Their ambassador has been given a platform to speak alongside the American ambassador and the Israeli ambassador in India Today conclave. It means a lot. No other country has given them a platform.
Right. Right.
And this is an initiative which we should not lose. If you want to be a strategic autonomous power, great power, net security provider, growing nation, third largest economy, all that, this is the opportunity. If no other country has, neither does China have, nor does USA have, nor does Russia have this opportunity at this point of time. If we muff it, we are fools. Iran is not our enemy. Please understand that. I'll make a statement. Iran is not our enemy. USA is not my friend. Realpolitik for India. Okay? Realpolitik for India. USA is not my friend. Iran is not my enemy. We've seen USA's friendship during Sindoor. Okay? Let's not have short memories about all this nonsense. Okay? We know
Russia's friendship too.
we know. We also know Russia's friendship, where it has lasted and where it has gone. Okay? Right? We should be very clear. We've had our problems with Iran, but not that much. We might not like their way of life. That's a different story. Right? But you need
Sir,
to
excuse
know.
me for 1 second, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Please go. I'll come back in just a second, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead. So the point is that you have to be very clear as to what we are planning to do. India has to start thinking for itself and no one else. Right? So I thought this was important. Let me see if there are a few more questions which I can take. Yeah, the live video has been absolutely riveting. Please, all of you who are watching, like this video first and subscribe. Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot, Balaji, for this. I would request everyone. I hope I'm making it riveting enough because I keep getting different perspectives for all of you. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I'm concerned about the future of what Mr. Trump's actions now will be interpreted in the future. It seems he doesn't have an ability to look and plan for actions he's taking. That's his headache. Let him do it. Why are you concerned about Trump unless you're an American, unless you are his supporter? Let him do what he wants. He'll let America, bear the brunt of his mistakes or everything. Not for us. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Will Oman open up the peninsula? Tip to UAE for a direct flight against Iranians at Hormuz Strait. We might. Let's see how things open. Let's see how things happen. This is one of the options which will come up as we go along. There are also people saying why you bypass the Strait of Hormuz by a canal. Right from Jabal Ali or Ras Al Khaimah or even further down south from Sharjah or somewhere, cut a canal through the isthmus and open off south of Dukum or somewhere. It's not going to be easy, but people are talking of a bypass canal for this, so that the Strait of Hormuz can not be part of the So all these things are on the bypass channels. Sub on the cards. IMEC on the cards. A lot of things are on the cards. All this will come out as we go along. Right? I think one of the things which will come out of this board of Hormuz, all that nonsense, is a bypass to the board of the Hormuz Strait. Right. If the board of the peace doesn't work for Hormuz, someone will cut a bypass channel. I am very clear about that. Right? Let's see how it is. Yeah, this is a nice one. Someone says, I hope China is not sending their fake food and gutter oil to the Middle East. Yeah, China is very fully capable of all this nonsense. Right? This is what they're good at and this is what they might do. Yeah, next question. Ask possible, sir, for the regular Iranian army to flick and take on the IRGC, to flip and take on the IRGC. Maybe that's what an America should be trying to do. The way Shreya is nodding his head horizontally, please answer. I don't think it will happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. See, viewers, 47 years, these guys are very clear things in their mind. They knew that the majority of the population was not going to be with them. They at best had 50-55% support. So they
Yeah,
needed to build their own structure. That's what is IRGC. IRGC is
yeah,
an alternative to Iranian Navy, Iranian Air Force, and Iranian Army. And those guys have been starved for a long time. And these guys had such a vice like grip. Somehow they
yeah.
managed to get the oil part completely under their control. They had that grip. That's what really helped them to sustain for this long. So remember, this is like a spring. You have put the spring completely compressed for 47 years. This is the real nation of Iran. Once it comes up, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just
We'll see.
watch. Yeah.
Right, then Arnab really hammered that Israeli ambassador pretty hard. None of us good folks want to see children killed, but that interview is uncomfortable to watch. Look, what I would say is there's a difference between the way we go about doing things and the TV chaps do about their things. They have their
Yeah.
political agendas, so don't quote them to me. That's all the short point I want to make. When I make an analysis, I do two things. One, I give a unbiased 360 degrees view. Second, I do it for India. Whatever is in India's interest is good. Otherwise, we don't talk. As simple as that. So I'm sure Shreya ji will also agree with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Next thing is unnecessary surge in demand due to panic. Nothing else. I had to go to agency, long queue. But got today in my village, there's a queue, but all have been assured they will get their cylinder. I think that's a good message you're getting out from the villages, right? From heartland India. I still feel what Gandhiji said India resides in its villages,
Yes.
right? So don't panic. Just don't panic. And what Dilip also says, no fuel hike price in India. I completely agree. For the past 4 5 days, I have two cars. So when 3 days back when I filled the car, it was 100 rupees 80 paisa in Chennai. Yesterday I filled it the same cost. So don't panic. Right. This is very nice. I'd like to take it on. The thumbnail artwork of General's channel is pathetic, low class, cheap, and totally unbecoming of a person with stature of having been one of the India's top general aerodynamic. You're the first guy who said this because everyone says, "Yeah, sir, we come to you because of your thumbnails."
Thumbnails.
And
Hey, listen, the guy who's saying this comment, have you heard the advertisement for a blue, like Robin Blue? There was a new product called Regal. Have you seen the advertisement for that in its early days? It used to literally shout at you to buy Regal. Okay, yet it was a bestseller. It toppled Tinopal or Ranipal, whichever name you want to put it. That was a blue that used to be there in India. So it's different things to different people. Then actually there's a better story there. After that, Regal realized that they had to do something about it. So they engaged an upcoming composer to change the tune. And they came up with a very beautiful tune. You know who the composer was? A.R. Rahman. Over to you, sir.
yeah, so don't get upset about what I do. I have to do what I want to do. I can't remain a Fauji throughout my life and get, strangled by what I did in the Forge. I have to free myself as a free bird and think differently. Yeah. Then salute, sir. Yeah, yesterday's India's lessons were insightful. How are we going to make 140 crore people committed to national security without involving them in political ownership? Of course, there has to be political ownership. Your view, Shreya ji,
Sir,
on this?
this is where people need to really, pull up their boots. Even though India is not at war, conditions are such that in your neighborhood, war is raging. And you need to start thinking India first. Especially, I'm going to tell about these opposition party people. Look, you have no business criticizing India. If India is able to hold the prices at the same level, after 18 days of the war starting. Come on now, that's an incredible feat. Sir, prices have gone up by 50% in the United States, where US is only getting 3% from the Gulf. Perception.
Yeah, that's the important thing, what he said. Just think, in a country which imports 80% of its oil, right, our prices have not gone up. USA is a country which is a net exporter of oil, right? Their prices have gone up by 30%. How do you make, what do you make out of it? So let's be practical. I think India is a committed country to its own people, and its own people, all of us are committed to our nation and our government at this point of time. We should stand behind them, irrespective of our ideological and political differences. Let me also tell all of you, I am not ideologically rooted to the BJP. In fact, I am probably against them. I don't have any love loss for the BJP, right? But they are in the government. We don't talk. I don't speak against the opposition either. Okay? When I speak, there's no politics. And unless you have two political parties, you can't have democracy. So both are important, whether you like one or the other,
True,
right?
true.
And a good democracy needs about 20 political parties. Each should get at each other's throat, and only then democracy thrives. Please understand that. Okay. I love my parties, whether it's DMK, TMC, or AAP, or the BJP, or Congress. They might be foolish to all of us, but they make democracy for us. Okay. And you're talking to this for a guy who's conducted elections at grassroots levels. I know what happens in a polling booth. I know how people go around canvassing. I know how people are brought for votes and all. I've seen it all. And in the most troubled states. Okay. So take it from me on that. Okay. Yeah. Now, see, CNN says siren went off 6 times in Israel, so video may be trick, but Salvo was fired. He's talking of that video which you showed.
Right.
Right. So let me answer this. Possible. I am not sitting there to account how many missiles have been fired. But the way Iran is doing, they've shown that video is only one missile being fired. And from what you can see, look at it this way. Today, the 61st wave has been fired. That's what they have said. How many waves have been fired? How many waves have been fired over the 19 days, 20 days? It is 3 to 4 waves in a day. That's it. And an average. Average. Okay. 3 days back, it was the 54th wave. You can count how many waves they're putting out. 3 days back. In 3 days, they fired how many waves? 6 waves, 7 waves. So it's 2 or 3 waves in a day. How many missiles? 3 to 4 missiles. That's it. Sirens can go on 20 times. That's okay. And they're concentrating today on Israel. Tomorrow they'll concentrate back on Dubai. The number of firings they're able to do is very little. Understand that. That's what I'm trying to make. It's not as if they can't fire. They are firing. And they are hitting, and they are causing hurt to people. This is war. It will happen. But that doesn't mean they're winning.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I'll have to log out now.
Yeah, you log out. Don't worry.
Take care of something. So thank you so much, sir.
Namaskar. Welcome. Thanks a lot. We'll continue. I'll take a few more questions so that
yes, sir.
Right, don't feel left out of the whole story. He says Iranian. Right? Iranian people will not revolt. If at all, the invasion will unite them, and Iran capitulating maybe, but not so soon. Wait and watch. US had claimed victory 3 weeks back. Have they? Satish, I'm with you. They'll not capitulate. The government will not do. What's up? All those factors I am very clear about. I'm 100% clear about that. Okay, this is not going to end easily. I am with you. Yesterday, you see what we discussed yesterday, you will get the whole story out. Okay. So be patient. We are getting day by day. And every day, my common theme is this war ain't going to finish easily. It's not going to be an easy task. Even for Mr. Trump and America, they might win militarily and lose politically. That danger is still there. So let's see how things happen. Okay, Iran is a puppet, China is a puppeteer. Let's see how it goes. Dilip will come wait till evening when I talk of China. Okay, a pipeline is easier to protect than a tanker. I completely agree with you. Very sensible thing, because a pipeline you can bury underground. You can't bury a tanker and thing. And I think they will put a pipeline. IMEC is almost, to my way of thinking, in the next 3-4 years it will be on ground. That's what I look at. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, rumors are in India as in Bagram. Yeah, possible. All this is right. Okay, let me see any other. Okay, what might be the timeline for opening the strait? Now, are we nearing the end? We're not. We'll have to see. My own guess is it'll take another week for the Strait of Hormuz to open, depending on how much reduction of coastal defenses take place, which I explained in a little earlier. It's going to take time. Don't be in a hurry. You're going to be in a lot of misery. The world is going to be in a lot of misery. That I can tell you. No one is going to come victorious and smelling like roses out of this. Everyone is going to lose. You can't burn your home and say that I'm happy. Okay. And whether you like it or not, Gulf of Hormuz and that oil there, everything is part of the global home. We are burning it. That's a different talk. That's a different, kind of a talk. At this point of time, I can't indulge in. We are talking of the war. Okay. You're talking of moralistic thinking and things like that. No, that's a different debate. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. Okay. How about India becoming the Lord of Hormuz instead? No, that we don't have the capability. Let's be very clear. We don't have the political capability to do that. One. Number two, you don't have the military capacity to do that. Yesterday, if you've heard, this is what my crib is. My crib has been all along. I've stopped talking on that because it appears that our government is not aware of this whole story the way it should be aware politically. And for some reason, our politico-military, and not politico-military, a politico-bureaucratic setup has got this idea that development is everything. And they've forgotten development needs security. And they're happy with the security which they have. And I'm not happy with it. Our development needs far more security to develop more. If you don't have that security, our development will be retarded. And that's what's happening now. If your development has to be accelerated, you need more security. You need to invest more in security. Right? And our government is not doing that. That is why we cannot become a lord of anything. That is why a country like USA will come and shoot a vessel off 300 kilometers off your coast, which they should not, on ethics alone. And that is why you can't give them a reverse lesson militarily, because you are not strong enough militarily. Okay. Well, I've contributed for strengthening the defense of my country throughout my life, but we have problems. Understand that. Yeah, many have burned their fingers in the Middle East. I agree. Trump might end up burning his fingers. I completely agree with you. Okay. Okay. So, some thought on Russia and Ukraine. We'll come to Russia, Ukraine when something happens. Right now, it's on the low key. Ukraine has sent its people to help Americans. Russia is helping America by giving more oil, and Russia is happy it's on the side of America. So, that war will now defuse on its own if this goes to a logical conclusion. Yeah. So, this is a voice from within. This is something which we must listen. At this point, we Iranians want this criminal regime gone. We paid with our lives for 47 years. What we want is important to us and our movement, not what the rest of the world wants. I completely agree with you. Iran needs a government by the people, of the people, and for the people. As simple as that. And the people of Iran, who are so good otherwise, deserve a better government than what they have. On that also, I have no problem. Because my thing is with the people of Iran. Right? We've seen a lot of people. We've seen the forefathers of the Iranian people in India, the Parsis, and how good they are in India and how well they are doing in India. All these Parsis have roots from Iran, Zoroastra. That is what there was pre-Islamic. And such a excellent lot of people have been deprived of many things. And I go with them completely. Okay? It's not a matter of whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim or Parsi or non-Parsi. No, the people. At the fundamental level, the people deserve better. And it's also my belief that the people have to stand up for themselves. And in the evening, I'll talk of this 2020-60. I'll talk of it. Right? We'll talk of it because we've not had time to discuss a very important part of this. Who's the victor? We've given the update. Who's the victor? I'll discuss it in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Okay, what is the future of Gulf states? We need a video. We'll do that. Don't worry, we'll do that. Point taken. Okay. Yeah, I have PNG at home in Pune. No disruption to the war. Great. A lot of people are being asked to shift to PNG. Good. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Rani Sai. Saying I liked and subscribed right away. First time viewer. Great. Keep coming back. As you predict, if Hormuz goes to USA, IRG regime is over. We don't know. Let the politics play out. Be patient. Yeah, India in facade when it comes to Russia as friend. We think Russia is India's friend, whereas Russia think China. There's a problem there. We'll talk of it some other day. The triangle of Russia, India, China is beset with a lot of issues. We'll talk of it some other day, not today. Okay, I think I have Shruti Chandak, Namaskar. Right. Yeah, even in Singapore, petrol prices have gone up by 33%. Does our educational curriculum teach and encourage tactical excellence as opposed to strategic blue sky thinking? It doesn't. Blue sky thinking is not our forte. We have the capability to do blue sky thinking, but our education doesn't do that. I must be very honest with you. Yeah, the fact that great artwork is always criticized says enough. Thanks a lot, Jeet. Okay, right. With constant conflict in Middle East, what contingencies or alternate paths for the IMEC can India propose? Example, a canal bypass. That's what I said. You're already thinking of a canal bypass through the isthmus, right? The UAE isthmus to Oman and then push the IMEC through. That's the way things. That's the only way, actually. What will be de-escalation by both warring parties? They have to come to some kind of a ceasefire, or say no firing days, and then they have to go. For that, some political development has to take place. So far, nothing has happened. Some mediation has to start. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Any relevance of UNSC P5 that can secure? No, they're useless. They're no relevance because, yeah. MSV Kumar, thanks a lot for your super sticker. And I think we have come to the end. I've taken a lot of questions, everything. Thanks a lot to all of you for joining in. I've had a nice day explaining all this to you. Come join in the afternoon. We'll talk about something different today. I'll talk about Cuba, USA, and things like that. And I'll also talk about these two fantastic articles which I came across. One saying how this war is going well, one saying how this war is not going well. And the one who says this war is not going well is an American. The chap who says the war is going well is from Al Jazeera. Two different things. We'll talk of it at 2 o'clock. And evening, I'm going to talk of China. And that's going to be long. Join in China, Iran, of course. A lot of people been saying China, China, China. I'll talk of China. And I'll include many more things about China. It'll be a curtain opener on China to see what's behind stage in China. Join in the evening. That's my solo today. Till then, have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Let's meet at 2 o'clock. Bye.